气沉丹田, in English, lower your breath, versus all of this other stuff, it just hits different. If you know these terms through and through, you'll be able to get through 80% of Wushu training situations. Hello, 大家好，我们今天讨论的话题就是 how and why to learn Chinese as a Wushu athlete. This video is 100% not directed at people who are trying to become fluent or conversational in Chinese. I am not qualified to make that video. This is specifically for people who love training Wushu and want to become better at understanding coaches and athletes by studying the Chinese language. I am third generation Chinese American. I wasn't raised speaking Chinese, none of my immediate family members speak Chinese, but I started learning after training Wushu for a couple years and realizing that so much of Wushu is so tightly wrapped in the language. I remember showing up to my first competition and not knowing what changquan, chengquan was. Very confusing. Luckily I had some helpful friends to point me around what to do. I started studying in my senior year of college in 2018. In 2019, I spent about 5 months in China, somehow miraculously survived. After that, I did a mix of one-on-one tutoring, group classes, self-study, and I'm currently in 说说中文 class. If you are interested in actually learning Chinese, understanding vocabulary and grammar, I highly recommend her videos. She is amazing and funny and smart. Couldn't recommend her more. Nowadays for Wushu, I am training with a Chinese coach, about 70-30 in Chinese and English. And I would say, though I don't understand 100% of what's going on, I can ask questions and express things when I don't understand, and usually end up getting at the gist of what's going on. So something that I first wanted to address is, why is Chinese important for training Wushu? There are many reasons. A big category of reasons is coaching. So finding a coach that really suits you is difficult. There are a lot of factors to consider: location, school style, particular training style, if you're interested in learning a particular type of Wushu, even just getting to an agreement on what Wushu is good and how to get there. These things are very difficult and will make a difference in whether or not you suit a coach. But of all of the people on this planet who can help you with your Wushu, a lot of them are from China and speak Chinese, and for them Chinese is their most comfortable language. And so if you want to have the best likelihood of being able to find a Wushu coaching situation that suits you, being able to communicate in Chinese will help you out. Another point is that coaching itself is difficult. Being able to provide high quality feedback at the exact right points in time as you're training, worded the right way, and then repeating to do that over many sessions, over many weeks, over many years is a difficult job. Even for many coaches who speak additional languages, there is some likelihood that Chinese is their most comfortable language. And if you're an athlete who wants to best leverage your coach, it is to your advantage to have your coach be as comfortable as possible, providing as accurate and specific feedback as they intend to do. Another reason under this category is that some concepts are just better understood in Chinese. A really good example of this is a piece of feedback that I frequently get, which is 气沉丹田. You can directly translate it as lower your breath or breathe from your belly. And qi is breath, but it can also be translated as vital energy or life force. Chen is to sink or to submerge. Dantian, it's physically like your lower belly, but it can also be translated as elixir field or sea of qi, and carries a lot more weight than just a physical area on your body. And so getting that feedback, 气沉丹田, in English, like lower your breath, versus all of this other stuff, it just hits different. Now, outside of a Wushu school realm, Chinese is also helpful if you, like me, are someone who enjoys going to competitions and meeting athletes and coaches from around the world. It's fun. And if you speak Chinese, you'll just be able to communicate and connect with a larger number of people. Finally, and maybe the most obvious reason that you might want to study Chinese, is that if you're very serious about Wushu, you may one day want to spend some time in China. Having the privilege to wake up every morning and train multiple times a day with high-level athletes and coaches in beautiful Wushu-specific facilities is a privilege like none other, and it's most easily found in China. Obviously, in this case, knowing some rudimentary Chinese will make your life easier. If you're not convinced by now that you should learn Chinese, I also just want to say that's okay. I think in life I've definitely been guilty of making other people feel guilty for not dedicating their entire lives to Wushu. So if you just don't have the time or interest in learning Chinese, that is 100% okay. You want to do other things with your time, that's cool. I support it. You can probably stop watching this video now. Enjoy your balanced life. If you are still interested though, I have some really good news, which is that though Chinese is a vast and complex language that could really take a lifetime to learn, the vocabulary and grammar that you need to just get through Wushu practice is not very much. Very finite. You can learn it one and done and then be set. Below I have a link to a vocabulary list and list of grammar rules. If you know these terms through and through, you'll be able to get through 80% of Wushu training situations. The other 20% you'll probably actually have to study Chinese, but knowing this will absolutely be enough to get you through practice. If you end up using this list, please leave a sword emoji in the comments below. I want to know if people are interested in this material. So the list itself is pretty self-explanatory once you have a basic understanding of pinyin and tones. Maybe if I find a good video that I like, I will link it here. But I did want to explain 2 grammar points which will get you very, very far in your training. The first is too much, the second is not enough, you should do that thing more. And with these phrases you can really drag and drop any adjective from the list below to make some Wushu meaning. So the first grammar structure is you're doing something too much adjective. 太 adjective 了 太 adjective 了 太 了 means too much something. So for example, you will 100% at some point receive this feedback, which is you're too slow. 太慢了 too slow. 太慢了 The second phrase is to do some adjective more. Do more adjective can be translated as adjective 一点 or adjective 一点儿. Here 一点 and 一点儿 are interchangeable. So the coach might tell you to 快一点 or drag and drop a different adjective 高一点 or 高一点儿. Fast is 快 and high is 高. So to say go faster, you would say 快一点, and to say go higher, you would say 高一点 or 高一点儿. Either is fine. So there you have it. 2 grammar structures, too much and too little. Drag and drop your favorite adjective, and this will get you very, very far in your Wushu training. Another resource that I would have loved to have when I was first starting learning Chinese is Wushu-specific listening resources. So a lot of language learning resources out there are a little bit hard to sit through. So here are my favorite videos with Wushu-specific content and subtitles that you can use as study material. When you're a beginner, I highly recommend just 模仿, just imitating what the people in these videos are saying so that your mouth can practice making Chinese. I did this when I was first learning Chinese just to get a sense for rhythm and pronunciation. Just listen to tiny clips of the video and say it back and listen to the clip and then say it back and then listen to the clip and say it back. I think I probably still even have a lot of this memorized. 套路它建立在许多的基本基础上。我叫王芙蓉，来自河南的一个小县城里的。Once you're at a more intermediate level, you can start to more look into the grammar and vocabulary that they're using in these videos, and just enjoy it, because who doesn't love listening to people who love Wushu talk about Wushu? Okay. Overall, I hope that the main takeaways are, 1, if you are serious about learning Wushu, that you are convinced that you should at least look into learning some Chinese, and 2, that the basic Chinese that you need to learn Wushu is not actually very complex. Knowing just a little bit will get you very, very far. I hope that I have convinced you. I wonder if I have convinced any Wushu lovers out there to learn Chinese. Sometimes I think I'm one of the only people on this planet who are crazy enough to learn Chinese for Wushu, but that's not true. I know you guys are out there. Let me know in the comments, do you plan to learn Chinese? Why or why not? And how is your journey going? If you got some value from this video, and I hope that you did, please hit that like button. And if you're interested in seeing more Wushu related content, please subscribe. I will continue to make videos roughly every week. This was a little bit of a different kind of video. If you like it, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know. Or apparently the dislike count doesn't show up under YouTube videos anymore, so maybe I can't know if you dislike it. You can just leave me a comment to let me know instead. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.